Enjoy your meeting.
Yeah, again, our theme, protecting our house.
Just a reminder, today's meeting is being recorded.
As I said before, our theme, protect our house, invest in our future every year. We needed a very consistent theme. Many institutions have that. We want to have this to be a multi-year theme that gets the point across that the best way for us to protect the house as alums is to invest in our future every year. It's an urgent call for alums to reconnect with what's happening at Morehouse and to find a way and a means to invest your time, talent, and treasure into making Morehouse great and to do it consistently. The solution is actually to galvanize a volunteer team of folks. You are our first group who will sort of manage that task as volunteers, class agents. We will do a number of other opportunities around other affinities, but the best and most consistent affinity are classes in reunion. Everyone who is a graduate is related to a class and should be galvanizing their attempts around success to make their classes successful. Why? We know that Morehouse can positively impact the world if we actually equip our volunteers to help us do the heavy lifting that we can't do here. The staff is not a large staff, but a very limited staff as far as size is concerned. So we need to have you to be our extensions out here and start earlier in helping us achieve that success.
Is this better? I was hearing some echo. Is this better from a sound standpoint?
Yes.
Okay, it is? Okay, thank you. Let's see. So what can you do? A, we know that many of you have served before as class role models or class agents. Some of you, this will be your first time. In either way, it will be all of our first time going after success within our class reunion giving efforts using the new program. So we wanted everybody to confirm their participation and email us that you are ready to accept the task to sign up by Friday the 4th. With your confirmation, we'll go ahead and continue with our progress, including you. Now, we're hoping that everybody on the call today has either had conversations within your classes and you are one of the prescribed persons to represent your class. Because what we don't want to do is we had a little bit earlier in the year different people saying that they were representatives, and we had to sort of bring them together for them to get us one set of people to deal with. So hopefully everyone on this call and in future calls will be those persons who are part of your class management team so we can be efficient in moving forward. The next slide sort of deals with our class reunion planning timeline. As you see, we're in the January to September time frame where we're recruiting and training volunteers. You'll see what the structure is. In there, we'll launch the project, distribute a handbook, provide orientation, which we're doing today, and set up net community sites and Facebook pages and Instagram and Twitter accounts so that there's one place where your class can go to look for all of their information regarding whether it's their class events, their fundraising efforts, connecting someone, a lost list where you can help us identify those persons they're just lost from the college. You're not lost from each other. So we want to actually get our information better based upon your efforts. The first opportunity to do that will be doing what's called the Reunion Homecoming Challenge coming up. We're going to jumpstart that, giving us a 30-day window. We want to complete that by the end of October, by homecoming weekend. By that time, we'd like for each class agent to have started your attempts to clean up information and reach out to classes and, hey, guys, we're in a challenge. And this is the first part of our challenge. By homecoming, we should see our numbers increase tremendously based upon your active involvement and participation starting today. Next, we have our reunion calendar year-end challenge. We will then ask for everyone to be running for the December 31st. We want to sort of have a significant input by the end of the fiscal year, which is really our midpoint for the academic year. The fiscal year goes from July 1 to June 30th. So everything that your classmates have given, regardless of the fund, whether it's a fraternity fund or endowed scholarship or annual giving, everything that's given by them and their class year that's affiliated with their name is correct will count toward your class reunion efforts. Okay. The class rate with the highest participation rate by December 31st will be recognized. Okay. Now, when we get to February, we want to do the class reunion fundraising challenge. So these are various mileposts by which we can sort of see how we're doing with respect to our goals. The first would have been October. The next one is the end of the calendar year, December 31st. The next one is Founders Day. So Founders Day this year is February 12th. So by that Friday, we want to be able to know where are our classes by February 12th. That will be the third checkpoint. Then our final will be the class reunion. Not Founders Day, but class reunion challenge, which is going to happen in May. So classes with the highest participation rate and giving and cumulative giving by May 13th is what we're going to be really focused on for the reunion banquet. Okay? All along that time, we're going to be doing database cleanup. So we need for you to provide the information of those persons who are missing in action, and you'll be able to sort of do that from your tailored website for your class. So the class of 81 has a page. The class of 86 has a page. On those pages, you'll be able to sort of say, here are our guys who are missing in action. We found these guys. Let's get them back in the fold, but let's get them donating and then bring them back in the fold. You don't want to bring them back and they continue to take your participation rate down. So we'll sort of talk about that. All right? So let's talk a little bit about the tools that are available. One, every class will have a class site. It will be accessed through the Morehouse's .edu site. You can click on Alumni and Friends in the middle of the page. You can review your account. You can update your profile information, connect at the top of the center. And what I'm going to do is ask for Adrian or for Naima, to sort of walk us through a little bit of this. We'll actually bring it up.
Okay, Henry, are you actually going to go to the page?
I think, yeah, actually Adrian is dialing into that page now.
Okay.
Hello? Can everyone hear?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so as Henry mentioned, in order to help classes get on their feet without having to worry about setting up their own websites, social media accounts, we've kind of taken the liberty to establish a guide for you. And so the pages will be uniform, but will require each of you to edit your own letters. So what we pulled up to show by example is the class of 86's page that we've already been testing. It starts out at the top with a letter from your chairperson. It lists the philanthropy award that you'll be competing for as a class. That's in this section here. You'll be able to include whatever your class goal is, and we'll help you establish that based on previous history and a couple of stretch goals that we have for you as well. It'll have your participation rate, as well as a giving goal and the numbers of the class. In addition to that, it will walk you through steps. You'll be able to update your Morehouse profile, and this is included for all of your classmates to come in. And there'll be some back-end tools that you'll be able to use as a leadership team to kind of manage and solicit via sending out electronic emails to them, just to track how the money is coming in. In addition to that, there are several brothers who are actually missing, and we're calling them our MIA list. There'll be a link there that will show the members of the class, of your particular class, that we've either lost touch with, haven't been able to find information for them. So when Henry was talking about on the calendar for cleanup, this is the list that you'll be working from to identify who you can find so that we can get them updated into the database. In order to send that information in, you'll contact Verna Bolton. To register for Reunion, there's a link here. It has been updated with the new pricing for the Reunion activities this year, and you would simply click here, and it would take you back to that page, and you'll be able to purchase the various packages that you'd like to see. Every class, it seems, has an account that they manage on their own in order to collect class dues. And they use that in order to pay for their planned class activities that are outside of the things that the college is doing. For each of the Reunion chairpersons and or their class agent that's responsible for that account, we're asking that you have a PayPal account set up that we can link to this particular site, and it'll allow your classmates to pay directly for your class dues so that you can manage your T-shirts or your picnic fees, anything that you need, and that also will be listed on your site. And then the giving piece. There are a couple of things that we're looking at this time for giving in order to make sure that we include everyone and the reasons why they may want to give. We recognize that several members of each class have passed on, and so we've set up a memorial tribute page if people maybe who haven't given in the past would like to give in memory of a fallen classmate. And you can do that right here on this page. If you just want to give in a traditional manner, you can also make your class gift to the annual fund or the general scholarship fund, and that's listed a little bit further down. And we will have the list of deceased classmates as a link here, so if you want to make that memorial tribute to them, that's all included.
Can you hear me?
Yes.
The memorial fund, is that only for classmates?
It is not an actual fund. It is a gift being made in honor of someone. So it's a memorial tribute. It's not an actual fund. And yes,
Okay.
You can give it towards anyone that you like in memory of that person. It would be listed in recognition. The dollars actually will go to the annual fund or the general scholarship fund, whichever of those that you choose. But that gift is made in memory of either a classmate or someone else that you'd like for it to be made in memory of. But
my question is that limited strictly to alumni, or is this something that can be done by a family?
It can be named. If a family member would like to make a gift to the college in memory of someone else, the answer is yes, they can. This page, though, is really specifically for your class, but anyone can make a gift to the college, and if they'd like to make it in memory of someone else, they certainly can.
No. I'm talking specifically about this class. Is the family able to contribute in memory of someone who was in this particular class? And is that something we're focusing on?
The answer is, can they? Yes. The answer is yes. Can they? Absolutely. Is it something that you are focused on? As a class, you can definitely determine that because it would count towards your class gift overall. So say, for instance, in memory of a classmate, if someone gives in memory of your class and they are not an alumnus, for instance, so if the family decided to make a gift in memory of someone who has passed away in your class, as long as they name that person in that memory tribute, it counts towards your overall class gift for reunion.
Thank you.
Have I answered your question?
Thank you, yes.
Okay. Is this the Alexander West speaking?
That's correct.
Okay. So let me just continue to scroll down, and we won't spend a lot of time on the rest of how your class page will be laid out. You will have a section here that will show some little snapshots of pictures back in the day. So if you have those, please send them to us, and we will add them. Otherwise, we are taking them and scanning them in from your yearbook. so that they're all personalized. The next section where it's talking about getting connected. Again, we talked about updating your profile, the MIA folks, the Morehouse Memorial, but we also are setting up social media for every single class. Each class, if you do not have one already, will have a Facebook page. This one should take us out to the class of, well, it's asking to log in, take us out to the class of 86's page. You will each have a Twitter account that we will set up for you and an Instagram page. The Facebook page allows you all to stay in contact using pictures as you'd like. Your Twitter could be for local events that are taking place in different markets, as well as when you're on the yard and want to make sure that people are staying in touch. And then your Instagram can be actually when you come back for reunion where you can post. In order to go through this, Naima, if you are on the line, Naima Abdullah will be working with each of the class chairs to make sure that we get the proper email address set up for you, because there's an extra step that we need to go through in order to have a page or a Twitter account or Instagram account set up for every single class.
Okay, and those classes that have already been set up in terms of having an email address are classes of 1941 through 1976, ending in 1 and 6. So classes 1981 through classes of 2016, ending in 1 and 6, still need to be set up, with the exception of 1986, which recently was set up. So you can definitely email me. I'm not for sure which email. Adrian, should they email me my personal email or?
You can give whichever email you want them to use.
Okay. So you can email me at getitdonevac@gmail.com. I will put that in the notes in this meeting, but you can email me again at getitdonevac@gmail.com. Please indicate the class that you are representing. And if anyone already has a PayPal account for that specific class as well, they can email me their PayPal email address only. I will not need any additional information except for the PayPal email address.
Thank you, Naima. Okay, there are a couple of other really good sections here in order to get your class reconnected with Morehouse. There is a news center at Morehouse, which takes you directly to the Morehouse Current News. I would encourage each of you in a position of leadership to definitely go onto that site and subscribe to the newsletter so that you are very current on what's happening at Morehouse day in and day out, because it will probably answer several questions for your classmates. We receive calls from people having seen the articles either in the AJC or in, I think it was in the New York Times as well, about the 700 new freshmen that came into Morehouse. And those are things that you should be aware of. Our speed is a little slow for that page to come up, but the link is active and will work once you get there. And once you do, just please subscribe so that you can actually receive the most current news and be able to answer any questions for your classmates that they may have. The calendar view here, if you change the date range, we'd like everyone to make sure, as it says down here below, to change that to July 1st through 2015 through June 30th, 2016. That is our fiscal year. On this calendar, you will use it for two different reasons. Number one, it will be populated with dates that we have specifically set for the challenges, the affinity challenges that Henry mentioned throughout the year. But in addition to that, as you all identify local agents to participate, there's some events that you all may have around Founders Day that for the folks that are not coming back to campus, they can have a Founders Day outing just for the brothers in Chicago or in Illinois or anywhere else that they may be located. Are you all seeing the changes in the screens that I'm making?
No.
I'm not able, it's not coming up.
We don't see the site at all. We just see the page that was there beforehand.
Okay. Naima, do we go back to share the screen and you can share your screen with them to show?
If Henry can just give you control.
I'm in Henry's office.
Oh, I see. I see. Okay, give me 1 second.
Screen share that.
I'm ready.
Okay, make the request.
Yes.
The request didn't come through.
Can Henry close that presentation really quick? The PowerPoint.
Okay. Can they see it? Can you all see the screen now?
Not yet. You have to give me access. I request it. I took the request. Can everyone see the screen now?
No.
It's coming through. 1 second.
There we go. Okay, you drive and I'll talk. How about
Okay.
that? So the first piece of what I was going through, this is what the page, go back up to the top. This is what everyone's page will look like.
I still can't see it. Still, there's nothing moving on my screen.
Has the screen changed for anyone else?
Yes, I have.
Yes.
Berna, we'll give you just a little bit of time because your speed may be just a little bit slower. Naima, bring the screen back up, please. Thank you. Okay, so this is what each page will look like. It will be customized for your class. Scroll down. The links that I was referring to are embedded in the letter. Keep going. So when we were talking about the memorial tribute, you'll click there for me, Naima, please.
The MIA.
Memorial tribute.
Mm-hmm.
Perfect, thank you. The previous gentleman's question, this is where you would actually fill in that information in memory of someone else. You can go back. Okay, and scroll down. This particular letter, we will download, allow you to download so that each class leader can customize it. This one is for the class of 86 by Adam Smith. It will be in Word, so you can adjust it in the way that you'd like, as long as we keep the main 5 or 6 points so that each of your classmates, we know that we're hitting on the key things that we need to drive home to every single class. The pictures that I was referring to, you'll all have this little slideshow, and we will customize that based on your yearbook pictures, and we'll put 5 or 6 in there for your class. Does everyone see that?
Yes.
Okay, perfect. Keep going, Naima, please. Under Get Connected, there are 4 things that we'd like you to do in order to get connected. One is everyone in the class should update their profile. In that profile, because we are really convinced that giving back to the college means that you have to have a strong affinity for the institution. It will ask you not only your personal information related to contact, phone, address, email address, etc., but it will also, it's not active, Naima.
Okay.
It will also ask you if you are in a fraternity, what dorm you stayed in while you were on campus, what sports you played. So those will help us make stronger connections, especially if there are people in your class that have never given back to the institution. We're looking for ways to better connect with them, okay? Then we already spoke about the brothers who are missing in action. We really need your help to find them. So we're asking that people on your organizational team who are responsible for communications, and they're called e-communications, we're asking them to utilize LinkedIn, utilize Facebook. A lot of times you can find brothers there, but we may not have them in the database, but you know where they are. So we need that information back. And then the memorial, we spoke about that already. If you connect through social media, these will be active. We are setting up social media pages for all of you who do not have them. If you already have them, we just need to get that information back into Naima so that we can make sure that the active links are available to take you directly to your pages. Okay, let's scroll down a little bit under Getting Committed. Okay. Getting committed to the college, we're asking you to do 4 things. The first is to register for reunion. I am a member of the class of 90 at Spelman, and sometimes we know people show up for reunion and they don't register. And the college cannot continue to function in that way because you can't afford to pay for all the signage, the brochures, and things like that when people don't come back and actually register. So this year there is a competition to see which class has the most people registered, and they will be recognized at the president's donor reception during reunion time, okay? But there's a link there for you to push people to actually register for reunion this year and hopefully register in advance. Paying your class dues. That's the piece where Naima was saying we need your PayPal account, the email address for your PayPal account so that we can include the link. She doesn't need the actual bank account information, just the email address. The PayPal link will be there on your class site, and it will take your class directly there, okay? For those that use it for class dues to pay for parties or T-shirts that are customized for the class, that's an easy way that your class can take care of that. Checking the calendar.
All right, but before you leave there,
yes.
Here's a question for our class, and I'm raising this because I don't know. There was some discussion before we got on this section about existing fiscal agents for the class.
Yes.
All right. Can you communicate who those are for our class? Class of 66.
Okay. We're going to send out the list to you. Ms. Bolton has it on her list. So, and thank you for bringing that up. We have identified 2 major roles, okay, and we've changed some of the language. So the first is there is a chairperson.
We'll walk through the organization.
And we're going to go through the organizational chart in just a minute, but the 2 key roles that we want you all to keep in mind of today, your chairperson, and there's a strategy fundraising agent, okay? And we'll give you details. If we can hold that question, we're going to give you more details on that org structure and the roles and responsibilities. And then we built out the org chart to include other positions, like the one that I'm speaking of when you're looking for missing in action or lost brothers. Okay?
A part of that, T. Alexander, was we knew that we were making a call this time a bit different. In the past had been those persons who say, okay, yeah, I'll just do it. This time we really need to be a different mindset about getting it done. So we wanted to invite those who we knew had the capacity, the gravitas to get their classmates out, include those who've done it in the past. And those folks let us know by September 4th that they're in it. And so then we'll be able to communicate to you. The class of 66 has 10 agents, 10 folks who are on their committee. This is the class chair. This is the strategy person. This is the person who's doing activities. This is the person that's helping to clean the database. This person may need some help in the area of IT, and we can sort of assist them. But we'll let you know after September 4th, those persons from your class who stepped up, and we'll let every class know that. That was the September 4th that I mentioned earlier. But great, very, very good question. Thank you.
Thank you.
Huh?
Okay. So the calendar, I've already gone through the calendar. There are two different views, and I please change it to the list view. The list view will provide you with a fiscal year view. So again, as you all are organizing, everyone has that active person that's in charge of activities to re-engage brothers to come back into the fold. You will show the fiscal year view, and you can post to your calendar specifically for your class, listing what event is happening where and in which market. So everything will not just be college-driven for things that bring you back to the college, because it's really about you all reconnected, because some people won't be able to make it back to campus. Okay, and then the news center at Morehouse was the piece that I had mentioned before that will take you to the most local, the most current news at Morehouse from their website. Okay, any other questions on that piece? Okay, let's go on down to getting results, because all of this is in the spirit of healthy competition between all of the reunion classes to benefit Morehouse in the end. So sticking with our theme of protect our house, invest in our future every single year, here's the area where you can actually put your money behind what you're saying. So the first button will take you to make your gift, if you choose, to the annual fund. There's a button here for the scholarship fund. And then the third one, if you can click on that for me, Naima, recurring gift. This one is really important because, as you see in our slogan, a lot of times people give for reunion and then they drop off. They don't give again for 5 more years. We need to get away from that because the college has needs every single year, which is why we're emphasizing the every year in the slogan. This form, when you click on that link, if you can go up to the top, Naima, for me, the Kappa Brown Morehouse Express program allows you to take a deduction directly from your checking account, and it can be deducted on a regular frequency so that Morehouse is always included. The minimum contribution, I believe, for this is only $25. So if it's $25 a month, maybe it's $150, what have you. This is the one area that will help you multiply your gifts to the college as a class very easily. So if you're starting early, everyone on this call should be trying to get the majority of people, even if they choose to give a big gift at the end, let this be that tithe piece where it's just a base level giving that comes out consistently. They do not miss it. And before you know it, everyone has already given $500, $800, $1,000. And that's where we should be as Morehouse men, participating to actually protect the house. Take that back, please. Okay. And then the final piece down here, there's little fancy buttons that you can click on that accomplish the same thing. If you go down to the end, Naima. Okay. Your overall progress, we're still working on the aesthetic view of this particular part of the site, but you will have a tracking thermometer, okay, that will show for your class and their giving, year to date, where do we stand? So Henry mentioned that we're doing this homecoming challenge for all reunion classes. This thermometer should be moving a little bit. By the time October 24th hits, if everyone is signed up on automatic giving, that thermometer should already be a little bit further up the range, okay?
LinkedIn is tied into the colleges. We can see everything.
Yes, and it is tied into the college's system, so the information that you will receive on this is real time, okay? The overall progress summary that you will have, we mentioned that there are different awards that you are competing for. So it will show how many people do we have registered for reading so far. That will show on your progress summary report. It will show what is our participation rate. So if we have 100 people in the class and we're competing for homecoming and 50 people give $150 in time for homecoming, you will already be at 50% participation rate, competing towards that goal. The third goal and award that you will have is the overall dollars, and it's going to take you longer to get to that, so you'll be further up the thermometer reading by the time you get to May, okay? And the fourth and last gift or award that you'll have from a philanthropic standpoint, which will not be posted on this progress summary, is because we're looking for this to be done in a consistent manner every year, there will be an award for the most consistent giver for every class during reunion. So this will get you into the mindset that we don't just give every 5 years, and we're going to start celebrating those individuals who have already done that starting this reunion. So that's it for what your sites will look like. Hopefully you like it as much as we do. There's been a lot of work. We need to thank several people at the college. David Collins has done a phenomenal job of helping to get this in order for us and pulling information. Of course, Ms. Bolton and a couple of members of my team, Darren Coleman and Naima Abdullah, and of course, all driven by the vision of Henry Goodgame.
How often is the chart updated?
The chart is updated on a real-time basis. So as gifts come in, they are refreshed. So as current as if you called Ms. Bolton for information, that's the same timeline. We will make sure that on here, when you open up this file, as a leader, it should populate and regenerate and update the information as you pull it up.
Naima, do you still have access here?
I do.
Okay. I want to go back to the presentation if I could, just because I wanted everyone to see how it fit.
Okay, you can take screen share off for me.
Okay.
Go to share.
In screen share.
The chart that's showing the contribution.
Yeah.
I'm sorry. I'll ask it later.
Share. Okay. I'm sorry, Alexander, what was your question? I'm sorry.
No, I was getting ready to say, is that chart visible to all the members of the class, or is that only visible or accessible by
Class leaders?
Yeah,
by the
that website will be available to all members of your class.
Okay.
So they'll easily be able to see their status, on a consistent basis, just like you can. We will have some follow-up training that will show you how to utilize the back end after you have your full team in place. So, for instance, you may have a couple people in place, and they're managing half the class. You'll be able to break down the information in different views based on how you set up your leadership team. But I'll have Mr. Goodgame go through that now on the org chart.
Thanks, Adrian. So when we're talking about the organizational structure and your leadership team, everyone hopefully can see the screen now that sort of it says organizational structure. In that, this is what we talked about before, where we would have one reunion chair, as you always have. In the old days, we called that the class agent. That person was responsible for, doing it pretty much all. And what ended up happening is you were having burnout with class agents, or people sort of saying, I just can't do all this, whatever. But we're going to have to spread the wealth out. One of the things that we saw successfully happen at Spelman and other places was actually they came up with a committee and assigned specific things for them to do. So the strategy class agent, which also included local agents, because the local folks wanted something to do and be involved, actively involved. Somebody focused on our guys who have gone on, what's happening with their families, what's happening with their spouse, what can we do to motivate them to do something in their honor. Somebody focused on that. A social media person, okay, what's being said about our class and about the institution, and how are we keeping them up to date so that they are inspired to give. We need to have someone in the class who is going to be your job. In every class, I don't care however old or young, as somebody that dibbles out there in social media. We need to find that person and say, hey, we need to have you channel your energies to supporting the class and helping us to drive people around the activity of being and becoming engaged and giving, utilizing the skills that you have. Even every class had a chaplain or somebody that kept up with things. If somebody is in need, needs prayer, whatever, that's somebody, every class sort of has that. Class of 84, I know we do. So we think that we can identify somebody in that regard so that there's somebody caring about them. Again, it's a holistic way of saying not only does the college care, I care as a fellow alum, we care as brothers. This is the structure that helps us get there. Same thing with communications chair. What's happening? What should we be on? Just communicating things out about what's happening with the class. You can structure and identify a committee of 7. And so, okay, guys, it's going to be our job to drive to the level of success that we know we can do. Okay? Then we're talking about, local agents. There are plenty of people in the city who need to be looking for a facility or looking for whatever you're going to be activities. You can identify the person in your class who can help in that way. But this pretty much becomes our new organizational structure for reunion planning. Okay? And those persons should remain connected every year, because if you've got a committee this size, it doesn't rest and reside with the same person to drive it every year so that you end up with burnout. You've come back and sort of said, me again? Is it that time again? We want to be able to have people already in it and say, you know what, I'll step up and I'll lead it this time. You take on social media or whatever. But it's a wonderful way to keep you as class leaders involved and keep the class engaged and involved with the college. Okay? When we talk roles and responsibilities, you can see here that we think the characteristics of that class person should have been maybe a student leader. He was well-respected SGA president, if not your class president. We know we have classes that can't find their class president, or that class president may have gone on. But we have got to be able to identify somebody who was well-respected in that class that can coordinate our energies and efforts, and we will respond to him. Has a long-standing and consistent annual giving record. We want people to be able to lead by example. I don't want to have people that can sort of say, man, y'all should go. We want to say, hey, follow me. This is where I'm going. Right? And then lead by example. Make your personal gift. Make your personal commitment, and encourage everyone you know at every party, every time you see them. Have you made a gift? Have you thought about what we're going to do? We really have got this effort going on. Our goal this year is $250,000. We can't get there without you. Those kind of messages, and do it consistently. We want that person to serve as a liaison to the college. So I want to really hear from the chair. What's going on, what we need. We found people on our list who really shouldn't have been there. We don't see some people's names who should be. We need to have that coordinated by a person. That's the role of the chair. Okay? Let's see here. The roles of the agent co-chairs. Long-standing, consistent annual giving. Great, sales skills. Leads by example, helping set the fundraising strategy, using a gift table. It might be that person that says, hey guys, this is how we can achieve that. It might be that if we've got to raise $150,000, we're going to need one, $25,000 gift. How can we get it? Your job is to help work on those guys who can give at that level. But at the end of the game, success is the standard. It's not going to be not meeting the goal as a class. It's going to be meeting and exceeding. Right? So you have these, and we'll have these available to you, so we'll be able to see. You can also help update alumni contact records. Very important. Very often we get reports that the lists that we see are just not. The numbers are not up to date. The press is not whatever. We need strategy agents to sort of say, hey, this is what we know about our class. This is the information we can provide you. We get that information in the database, and the next time you get information, it's correct versus being the same information that was incorrect the last time. So we just can't do it all from Citricom. We've got to have your help as agents. Okay? So when we move to the social chair. Oh, sorry.
So let me.
Yeah, sure.
So in this presentation, we're not going to go through every single one of the boxes, okay? You all as leaders, we mentioned the top two most critical positions are the chair to organize everything, and then these agents. And the agents' responsibilities are to raise the money. They are your fundraising agents, okay? The other pieces of the and roles and responsibilities are actually listed at the back of the presentation in the appendix, but we'll allow you to do that on your own time. So the next pieces of the slides that we'll go through are really closing this out so that we can talk about what our next steps are and who your contacts are for further help, and then we'll go ahead and set the next meeting. So, Henry, why don't you go through that, and we'll tell them how they can go online and download these documents so they can have them.
Well, because the nature of what we're providing you as class leaders is confidential in nature, we need for everyone to sign a confidentiality agreement, which means the giving data, the address data, the whatever data we have out there, we want everyone to understand and feel that when they share information with you or when we share information with you, it's that you understand the rules and regulations. So there's a confidentiality agreement we need for everyone to sign. We'll show you what that looks like and send that to you so that you have it. Download it and actually get that back to us. We're going to help you edit your class letter. Many of you already started with some of your letters. If not, we can help and assist in editing your class letter so we can get it up on the site, get it quickly, and be able to launch it all at the same time without errors and mistakes, whatever. Let's make sure we're saying all the same thing in the same way. Go ahead and assign your critical committee chairperson. It's important for us to identify, look through your class roster, who is going to be the best at. You know your classmates better than anyone else. We just took a stab at saying these persons right here are great leaders and would be outstanding at helping us to further spread out the work. Transfer the social media management, to the chairs. We want to be able to sort of do that. We want to sort of say, hey, you've got it. You've got responsibility for what needs to be said. We're going to empower you with the tools you need. We need for you to take that on and say, hey, we got it from here. We've got 15 classes we're trying to do it for. We want to say we want to give every bit of opportunity to the chair to run his class as he should be, understanding we get some mutually agreed to goals and objectives. Link your class bank account to PayPal. We need to be able to do that, as Adrian discussed earlier. And we provide you as leaders with the links to review training materials. So these will be available for you to walk through yourselves should you need them. Our contact information is located here. Myself, Verna, Melissa Bailey, who's my admin, is out. She lost her father. Her funeral's tomorrow, so she's not available right now, but we'll be back on Tuesday. And, of course, Adrian Lance and her team. Now, we got an appendix section beyond here to just show you some things that are out here I think will be very interesting to you as you communicate to others. It really restates the 4 areas that we really sort of want to focus on. A, your reunion registration, your class dues and what it covers, and how it's linked to a PayPal that you really manage, the class gift, and then other avenues, hotels, travel, things like that. We'll have opportunity for say, there's only 4 things we need to be focused on. What are we doing at the school? Are we registering to make sure that we are part of that competition? What are we doing as a class for our class giving? And have we gone ahead and checked in and gotten in early so we can reserve our places early?
Can you back up and show that chart again, please?
Yes.
Now, what's the third one?
The third one is the most important. That's your class gift. That's the reason for the season. You saying, what is it? It's for the season. That's the reason we're trying to. We really believe wholeheartedly that an engaged alum who understands that we respect the fact that we want him connected to the college and connected to each other, that will lead to giving because he understands the needs, the mission, and he understands that what we can do together as a class brotherhood. That third that really should be in a different color. But I wanted you to see the continuum of the kinds of things that you needed to have from a registration plan standpoint, dues standpoint, gift standpoint, and then there are going to be other things for you to consider, like for them to consider, hotel and accommodations. These are things, and if a person says, I can't go to a reunion this year, it's just too much. Really, well, you can sort of say it's only 4 things. And we can help you through those 4 things. Make your class gift at any size. Make sure you're counting the number and register. Make sure you make your reservations early, and we got that already out there for you. So everything you need is sort of composite on one page. That's the reason for this page.
Okay. Now, the question really is, what are we suggesting as, if you had your druthers, what would you like to see the giving level be?
Right. So working on analyzing that, we will have, and we'll be stratifying it such that older classes, 30s and 40s, and those who are just coming out in the teens in 2011 and 16, well, 2006 and 2011, will probably carry a different burden for obvious reasons. But for the lion's share, the guys from the 60s through the 2000s, early 2000s, will have the larger part of that because we need about $2.5 million each year to come out of reunion classes, and we can't get there with just $25 gifts. We can get there in a multi-year gift and matching gift programs and other things. But we need to have people thinking about stretching the level of giving beyond the $500 ask, but to a larger gift. And what we'll do is we'll get back with you with your class, and we'll come up with something that you are comfortable with saying, you know what, we can do this. Even if you're not comfortable in doing it, we found that some classes move beyond what we thought they could do, and we don't want to limit you. So we'll work on that together and come up with something that makes sense.
No, I understand, but ultimately it breaks out to a per capita number, and that's what I'm trying to get to.
That is correct.
So the reason why, let me just offer one rule of thumb. We think that everyone should be able to give $1,000 in a reunion year. That's like the minimum. And the reason why we're saying that is if you start early, there are 12 months. You could give $100 a month and be at your $1,200 in time for a reunion. You may have to do a $200 gift in May in order to get there, but you can do that. That's why we're really trying to start early, and we're saying use the EFT form. That base level gift is something that we're saying every brother who's employed, or even if they're retired, they might be able to do this, okay? Then there are your stretch gifts. So folks that have matching gifts, folks that have, if you're in a more seasoned class where people have passed on, that memorial agent is very important because you will have families that will contribute to the class. So through those efforts, the average gift amount may go up to $5,000 because some families establish scholarships for that person that has passed on. All those dollars still count toward your class gift. And then the third category, I would say, are for the people that we know, we like to call them our $100,000 club. This is a collective group of guys that can give a minimum of $5,000 to $10,000, no problem. Some will do $25,000, $50,000 because they're still working for matching gift companies. They may be members of the clergy, and their clergymen, the congregation may match their gift, so they may give $5,000 and the congregation gives $5,000. All of those count towards your class gift. So that being said, if you have a class body, let's call it, of 200 people in your class, maybe 150 to 200 people in your class, they should be able to do collectively at least $100,000 plus toward the college, just based on those simple numbers. And we'll give you more detail on it, but just as a rule of thumb, start thinking in that way, not a $25,000 class gift. But the more, you know, the folks that are in their 25-year reunion to probably 35 years, they should be around $225,000 gift to the college, if you follow that reasoning. Does that answer your question?
I think that gets me closer to the answer I was looking for. Thank you.
Okay. Now we're coming up on. We asked you all for an hour. We're coming up on that for my start time, so we're out of time. On the session itself. But we do have these things available for you to review. We're available for questions should you have them as individual classes. But we want to make sure that we respect your time and.
Have Naima take them to where they can download.
Yeah.
Naima, can you walk them through where to download these files now so that they can have them on their desktop? And then you can finish going through the rest of the presentation if you'd like.
And call us if you have questions.
Okay, so Henry, what you would need to do is on your actual files in your, currently they're set to private, so if you open them up right now, everyone will be able to see the reunion PowerPoint presentation as well as the confidentiality agreement that needs to be given to everyone.
Okay.
So you just open those to every attendee. So currently they're probably set to private, and just open those up and they should be able to access them.
So go share?
Yeah, where your files are, and press share.
Right.
And you see where it says, is it click to private?
I remember seeing it once before.
Mm-hmm.
Underneath your picture, click there.
And we can also uncheck it, and we can also send it to everyone that did attend this meeting as well, if we can't do it right now.
Okay.
And also, we want to make sure that people also will remember that the organizational chart, just the chart itself, will be on your class page.
Here.
So they can see it.
Here.
Yeah. Go to your share.
Mm-hmm.
Yep, and now you can tell them. They can, on you all's screen, at the bottom where you see Henry, it should say connect and then it should say file. Do you all see that?
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
Okay, if you click on file there, it will show you the files that he just presented. Okay, you'll see one that says, which is the last one, and then there's a downward facing arrow. If you click on that, that file will download to your computer.
Okay, Adrienne, those files are still private, so they're not viewable right now.
Okay, where does he take it off of private then? He made it available.
Oh, okay.
So the last two files, the confidentiality agreement and the committee overview, are the two that you should be able to download to your computer. Has anybody been able to do that successfully? Anyone there?
I see. I meet guest guide
Yes.
2013 and 2014.
Okay, so go to the third one, please, that says confidentiality agreement.
I don't see that one.
Morehouse volunteer.
Not here.
Okay. Click on that.
Yeah, the third one should be the Morehouse Volunteer Confidentiality Agreement. You don't see that?
No.
Naima, where are the permissions for that?
I've got it available.
It looks like we have access to our own desktop, our own computer system, not to Henry.
Are you there, Naima?
I am.
Okay, so we went to the bottom right. We edited the settings. under Files, and he allowed guest view, allowed guests to download, and allowed guests to upload.
Okay, and then did you reload the page?
Okay.
Make sure the settings were saved as well.
Reload. Don't see where to reload.